Hey guys, welcome back to We're Not the Same. I'm Brian here with my wife Katie, and we are going to talk about grounding today, as well as a bunch of other topics that we go on a tangent for. But stick around with us. It's going to be lots of fun topics, and we're just so thankful and so excited that you're here with us.
So let's dive in. Well, welcome to episode 13. We actually never celebrated, I guess you could say, when we reached episode 10, which is kind of a milestone episode. So we'll say happy 13th episode. It feels like should be at a higher number than 13, but
13 weeks though is a long time. Yeah.
But if you ever have any topic that you're interested in hearing us talk about, or our perspective, or any questions or anything, please reach out or comment below and let us know, because we're always looking for topics. We have an ongoing list of ones we want to do, but always happy to include either as a whole or part of an episode any suggestions from you guys. So we want to talk about things that you're interested in hearing about.
Yeah, and a huge thank you to all of you who have kind of been on this journey with us so far and been listening to every episode that has come out. I know there's a few of you out there, so we really appreciate that. And
we do. I will say, if anybody, this is like kind of sounds pathetic, but if anybody wants to leave a nice comment on any of our videos or on YouTube shorts, we seem to be really good at hitting the wrong side of YouTube and getting a lot of just people who have no idea what we're talking about. So they see a 10-second clip and, the topics we talk about are a little off the beaten path. So today was just a hard day. We just got a lot of bad comments.
Yeah, so, we had a little short on Tylenol and fever from episode, I think that was 11.
That was the guns, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yes. Oh man, was that controversial to people.
People are big mad if you try to take their Tylenol away.
Yeah, seriously. Which I guess the pharma companies have done a good job at instilling that in us.
It's just mind-blowing. So that was disheartening, but, it comes with the territory, and it's not going to stop us, but it's just disheartening.
And it really does make a huge difference. I haven't checked our stats or anything, but it helps out a lot if you do leave a 5-star review or anything on the actual platforms, because it helps boost us and all that. So just if you have any passion or helping support us, but on listening, it would be really awesome if you could just leave a review.
Because the haters never hesitate to help us out with engagement.
Yes, that's right. We need some positive engagement. That would be awesome. So we love you guys and really appreciate this journey, and we're excited to continue on. And this has just really been, something that we've really stuck with, and it's been on our hearts. And we had a bye week last week.
And hopefully, other people are benefiting from it. But
yeah,
we're not gonna we're not doing it to have people praise us.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. We're here to serve you and serve everyone with this information. So today we're talking about grounding, which is something that I did not know anything about, just like most of the things in my life, until Katie researches
most of the things covered on this podcast we never knew about this.
But then I ended up with some really cool sandal things that, I don't know, some people want to take my man card away, but I think they're awesome. And yeah, that's pretty much sums it all up. No,
wait,
but seriously.
What? People don't like the Earth Runners? Yeah, and they're not the manliest looking shoes. They're certainly not shoes if you would have shown me. They're unisex, so we're matching in them. But if you would have shown me those, 5+ years ago, I would have had some not
strong
nice
opinions
things to say about them. But
at this point,
don't look at my feet if you don't like it.
Yeah. Well, at this point, we're over what people care about. It's what benefits us. So
yeah, exactly.
So why are these important?
Well, so let's just first talk about grounding.
Okay.
So the shoes, we'll get to that eventually. But grounding is when you go outside and you're barefoot, or in these grounding shoes, which have a copper kind of plug in the bottom that helps you to receive the grounding effects without actually being barefoot. Because you can't just always be barefoot outside, I guess. If you're in nature, who's
no
stopping
shoes,
you?
No shirt, no shoes at a lot of places.
Yeah.
No service.
But so when you go outside and you're on the ground, in the grass, in the dirt, the earth has negative ions. Like every time that lightning strikes the ground, it's like energizing the earth with negative ions. And so we benefit. It's very anti-inflammation and a lot of health benefits from doing that. It reduces anxiety. And so, I think I feel like it's kind of a common thing that people know, oh, like, yeah, being out in nature is good for you, or like it's peaceful if you go out, spend time in nature. But that's like scientifically, like literally, it is good for you. It's not just mentally, peaceful retreat from the world. Physiologically, there are benefits from being out in nature.
Yeah, and there was a study done. It's on PubMed, where they it was like 40 people or something, and they tested this whole theory of grounding. These scientists, and they had people go. There was a couple different studies. So there was the ones where they went actually out in the dirt with their bare feet touching the ground, and then they had studies where they had different wounds. Like one was like a bike accident in the triathlon, the Tour de France. He like had a bike spur or something going in. Anyway, there was different like injuries, and they would put these like little pads. They looked like those little like big band-aids, circular band-aids, like on either side of the wound, and then they ran a grounding cable to it, which you can be grounded as easily like in your house. When you have a 3-outlet plug, that little one on the bottom, or sometimes it's on the top, but the one that's by itself, that's the ground. And the purpose of the ground is they're in your house, it goes to your electrical box, and then there's a rod that's stuck in the ground outside your home. And the initial purpose of this is for lightning strikes or for other electrical surges and things like that. It basically takes that energy and from your house and goes and puts it in the ground safely. But that is a grounding portion of the electrical system. So yeah, so that's a high level like of grounding. So they basically take these pads and like they could plug it into the grounding side of an outlet that's connected to the earth, because that's the whole point. As long as you're connected to the earth, that's grounding. And they showed a significant amount of healing of the wound, like beyond like placebo effects and things like that. So like there was that, and then the actual grounding in the ground with you walking on your feet. It charges you negatively, which is an anti-inflammatory, and acts as an antioxidant as well. So everybody saw their cortisol levels drop, and different markers inflammatory markers were dropped as well. And it's just so cool. It just makes sense. It's like the science behind why it's good to be out in nature, like you were saying.
And this is one where like, obviously now there are starting to be more and more studies about it. And so we know it's not just a placebo effect, but if you go outside, I mean, just in our culture today, like unless you just are an outdoorsy person, which I feel like is not the majority of people, how many times do you actually go outside and stand in your yard with no shoes on? Like, I mean, I never ever did that until I started intentionally doing that. But once you start doing it, like, you don't need a study. Like, you can feel it. And so, I was just going to say, like, if it is a placebo effect, then who cares? Like, it's a good thing to do, and just get outside, get your feet in the dirt. Like, there's so many benefits to that. Just being in the dirt, and that helps to populate your microbiome, being outside, being in nature. And so again, like now there are studies that I don't believe it's a placebo effect. I know there is science behind it, and I believe that it makes sense that when we spend time in God's creation, we benefit from that. Just try it. Just go outside barefoot in your yard for a while, just stand there, just take some deep breaths.
Well, it's cool too.
Peaceful.
It's cool too. I was just looking into this, kind of a separate topic, but I was looking into like parasite cleanses and all these different things. But part of that is when you're doing detoxes and stuff, you have to like help your body detox. And one of the ways to do that is doing different like foot baths, fulvic acid or whatever it is. But the whole point is I don't often think of my feet as absorbent things, but they are some of the most absorbent things for your body. And in fact, you may have heard like when your kids are sick or when you were sick, like your mom may have like rubbed stuff on your feet. Like I even did that for Georgia tonight because she's a little under the weather. It's like tea tree oil and whatever, peppermint. But that's because so much gets absorbed through your feet. So when you're out in the ground and all of that, there's a lot of good things that you're feeling and you're absorbing.
Yeah, and your feet are also connected. Like, I think this is more like a traditional Chinese medicine thing, but they're all the different points in your feet are connected to different organs and different systems within the body. And so if you're walking, you know, just on the terrain, it's not smooth. So you're kind of like hitting the different pressure points and, you know, healing those different areas within, you know, just through walking outside.
And it's a combination of so many things, like just like everything else. When you go outside, there's so many benefits.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting in the sun. Like we've talked about that a little bit, but the sun is so wonderful for you, and getting your vitamin D, and also looking far distances is something that's very helpful for your eyes, and also there's physiological effects with that as well. And this is a true testament. Just yesterday, I capped out on vacation, so I was taking the day off, and I had the chance to do a little workout outside, and I just took a mat and put it on our driveway, and it was in the sun, and I had a chance to we live on a cul-de-sac that has a long street, and I was able to just do some workout, just, you know, without a shirt on, getting my sun, being grounded, and like being able to like look out into the distance. And man, you have all three of those together, and you just feel so good.
Now imagine doing that not just in a neighborhood and actually getting out into, you know, we don't have mountains obviously, but go to a nature park or something. I don't know. We got to find more of those places and, you know, do little day trips and stuff. I'm not at the point of sleeping on the ground, but if you would like to go outside and sleep on the ground, you're more than welcome to do that.
Well, it's so funny you mentioned that, because I was actually looking into not sleeping outside on the ground, but there's actually products that are sold for your bed that are grounding devices. Basically, you can either get...
I don't want to get electrocuted.
Well, I think the whole point is like it's grounded, so you're like not supposed to get electrocuted.
Okay.
But you can like get grounding sheets, which is basically like fabric plus like silver like wire essentially, and there's a little like plug thing that plugs into the ground side of your outlet, and again that it's electricity, so it doesn't matter. You don't have to be exactly, you know, touching the ground like by...
Yeah.
It's connected all the way to the ground, like I said, the rod in the house. And or you can get a mat for your bed, like basically the same thing, but it's a mat, and then you can put whatever sheets you like over it. And it has a similar effect. But
well, that's interesting too, because isn't silver protective against like EMFs and stuff?
Bingo. Yeah, there's a company that makes both the pad and then a blanket essentially, and you've created a Faraday cage. So now you're protected from all the EMFs, and you also get the grounding effect. Jeez. I'm like, all right, sign me up. Let's do this.
Sounds expensive.
Yeah, it wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was going to be.
How much was it?
So I think the pad...
Ballpark.
Like $200 to $300.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not too bad. I feel like I've looked at those silver lined, you know, shirts or the hat or whatever, and it's like $70 for a baseball hat, which is ridiculous. But we should say we did our, I think it was like episode 7 or something, where we talked about fabrics, and we did actually take the plunge and got linen sheets.
Yes.
So we can now attest to how amazing those are, and we have absolutely loved it. The first night was a little bit of an adjustment for me. I don't know if it was for you.
I was all in. I was like, I don't know. They were like so nice.
Yeah, they're not soft in the way that, you know, you get one of those like polyester blankets, like soft and cozy, but they're soft. They're not scratchy, but they're not smooth.
Yes.
It's different, but the feeling, like there's definitely something there with the feeling. Like I told him, I was like,
man.
Felt like I was like vibrating.
Oh yeah.
The first night I just like could feel like vibrations. I'm a
bonus effects.
Like, sensitive person. Not like that. Just like, I don't know, the frequencies, I guess.
Well, it's a real thing. So, but yeah, I love them. They're great. They're also very quiet, which is like something that's kind of
like
odd.
When you roll to the side or whatever, you kind of hear that crinkliness, which I didn't think our sheets before were 100% cotton, you know, like they weren't anything bad, but I didn't notice they were loud until we got these sheets, and like they're literally silent,
which is great because I get up really early in the morning.
Yeah.
And
I have no idea when he gets up.
Now I can feel like I can get out of bed and not have to be so cautious.
Ninja mode.
It's so quiet.
So that's a little update on that. I can put a link to those.
So I want to circle back now to the shoes we were talking about, because this is a really easy way to be grounded and be normal.
Well, and the
unquote,
other
where you're
thing
not-
too with, sorry to cut you off, but with the grounding is that if it also works if you're on like untreated ground. So like the concrete on your driveway, like we just have like a poured concrete driveway. It's not anything special. So even being on that, you get some of the grounding effect. Like it's still coming coming up through. It doesn't just have to be in dirt. So
yeah.
like if you're on a walking trail or something, you're probably still getting the effects.
Yes. Yeah. And this is one of those ones that I think is lower priority, just like we've talked fabrics and things like that. But again, as we've mentioned before, it's all about the compounding effect of these
Leveling up.
yeah, all of these good things. So do I, wear these shoes and all of a sudden I feel great and everything's solved? Like, no. But I know through backed by science, but also through just common sense and how I feel, it's a good thing to do and the right thing to do, and certainly have slept better for sure with the linen sheets. So I would be pretty excited to maybe try. Maybe that will be one of our investments this year in our supplements and low tox is really upping our sheets and grounding game.
He's talking about our budget envelope. We have like a category for supplements and low tox things because we just try so many things, and so we had to have that as part of our budget.
Well, last year was like crazy. I feel like last year was our big year of trying.
Apparently last year we spent a lot of money on things and we're not exactly sure what it was, but all the things, like all the water filters, all the supplements that we tried, like all the, I don't know what was in that category.
I don't know.
All the different things that we were like, oh, look at this, we better get that and try that. So now it's like officially a part of the budget. And so, but we're just like, whoa, like why is this category, like we have so much to spend, so maybe we can blow some of it on some sheets.
Some grounding sheets.
We just bought our linen sheets.
I know. Well, that's why I like the pads, because you can put them underneath the sheets.
Oh, okay.
And like it.
I just don't think we should try it in summer in Florida. I just think it's a little risky. Like I'm just talking about like the lightning capital of the world. So like wait till winter, lower risk.
I'll have to look more into that.
Yeah, I would seriously look into that.
Some really negative ions
Literally
get pumped into you.
electrocuted.
But anyway, we kept avoiding the shoe topic of these. We use Earth Runners, which are basically it's a flat sole.
They're barefoot. We talked about barefoot shoes.
Yeah,
before,
we did.
So I think we talked about Earth Runners.
Okay.
But they're also beyond being the barefoot style of flat and holding your foot in a neutral position. They're also grounding shoes because of the copper. It's like a copper.
It's just like
plug in the bottom, and then the stitching on the laces
Yes.
has silver in it.
That's right. Yeah, the copper thing on the bottom is just like any of your cheapo flip flops that you get in the little thong flip flops. You just flip it over, you hear that, like where the thong is attached at the bottom. It's
just
copper. Which is conductive material. So when you're walking anywhere, it's conducting the Earth's natural ions. So it's pretty cool. And it also gives you a really awesome tan on your feet.
Yeah, we have matching foot tan lines. Yeah, I mean, for men, they're not the manliest sandal. There's a lot of sandals out there, and none of them are manly.
Yeah, this is the best ones for sure.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There was one brand that they're called like Jesus shoes or something like that, and they're like leather, sandals that they look okay. I mean, still like very earthy. Like you're not gonna escape that look, Well, you kind of mentioned the looking off in the distance thing, and that is actually good. You can look into that, like in your eyes, you have the rods and the cones. And that's like how our eyes work or whatever. That looking to a far distance, looking out to the horizon, the things that we unfortunately just don't get to do often unless you live on the coast or on a mountain or something. That strengthens our eyes so much. And same thing with being in the sun and getting direct sunlight on your eyes. It's strengthening. It's an exercise for your eyes and strengthens your vision. And I mean, you actually have had an improvement in your vision. Right. I don't know if that's due to diet or time outside or time in sunlight exposure or some combination of those things, but I mean, you're living proof that
That's
you
true.
can improve your
very,
vision.
Very exciting news. I went to the eye doctor last week or so and had my eye test, and my eyes have never been super bad, but my right eye has always been like negative -0.5 for those of you who wear contacts, so that's not that bad. But this time I went, and she's like, based off of this, she's like, your eye is like a little better, and to the point of like you probably don't need to wear a contact in that eye. And I'm like, that's awesome. Also, thank you, doctor, for acknowledging that I've gotten better and not forcing me to like do
It's
wear
actually been
contacts.
better for years, and they just didn't want to tell you.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was super cool. So now I just wear one contact in my left eye, which is also not that bad. It's like a negative 1.25. And I've noticed it's been good. It's definitely not like when I had both, it was like crystal clear. It's not crystal clear.
It's probably like about where I'm at.
Someone needs to go to the eye doctor.
I probably could have a small prescription, but I like to make my body work for it.
We are all about the hard things.
I've always literally, I remember years and years ago asking the eye doctor, like, isn't it better to like not just coddle your eyes with glasses if you don't really need them? Because I've never like really needed them, but.
Well, a snippet while we're on eye health. You want to talk a little bit about not wearing sunglasses?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that.
So I've been talking for probably the past 2 summers about sunscreen. So let me just get on my little soapbox about that as you walk through the Disney parking lot and are inundated with everybody's copper tone. I'm like, let me walk a different path, like backstage or something, because it's horrible.
And we were there.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, no judgment. Like, we did everything we now don't, do.
Yeah,
like,
we
did. We're not the same.
We're not the same.
So, anyways, sunscreen is toxic chemicals. Most of it is toxic chemicals being put on your body. It's literally causing the skin cancer that people have. If you eat a crappy diet, that's what's causing you to get skin cancer in combination with the toxic sunscreen that supposedly is protecting you.
The seed oils, right? That's the big one.
Yeah, seed oils, because I mean, it's really it is the seed oils, I guess, because that's what's in everything that makes it inflammatory. But it's about inflammation.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and the oxidation.
Yep.
That the seed oils cause in the body. So all of that. So, anyways, the point of this is not to talk about sunscreen, but don't wear sunscreen. Clean up your diet and don't wear sunscreen. But
if you to stay on the sunscreen, if you have to wear sunscreen or like want to take a step in the right direction, which is what we did, and we sometimes do
on occasion,
on like days where we're going to be in the sun for like the entire time. So what do you do?
Well, there are, better options out there. Like, you can find any of them, hundreds of Instagram posts where people show you what the better brands are. Unfortunately, the better brand that we chose, I just learned, got bought out, and they added in fragrance and I think one other ingredient that I don't approve of. So we won't be buying that one anymore. Won't be recommending that one. So I'll have to look into
but they're
which
mineral
one
based.
we want. Yeah, that's
like the
mineral based, the zinc oxide. I don't know if you've ever heard of Weston Price, the Weston Price Foundation.
Yeah, that's the one that talks about like raw milk and stuff too, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's a great follow. They actually just released, I mean, it's probably been around for a long time, but they just recently reshared their homemade sunscreen recipe.
Oh, cool.
Which is like coconut oil. Like, coconut oil has a natural SPF of 10.
Oh,
so if you want to just, it's kind of like counterintuitive. So, and I don't know about tallow, if tallow has some sort of a natural protective.
We'd smell real good. You smell some beef.
There's some natural things. Yeah, like I feel like I smell like steaks like grilling.
Oh, sorry, that's me. How do you like your steak?
Someone making burgers around here.
It's probably great. We should do that this summer.
Yeah, I mean, I would try the coconut they
We should do that thing where they have those jokes where they like put the sunscreen in the shape of something like a smiley face on the dad while he's like sunbathing or something.
Yeah.
We should do like strips, like a coconut oil strip, and then like a tallow, and see what happens.
Yeah, that would be a good experiment.
Okay.
But yeah, so there's lots of options of things to do, because the zinc oxide, it's not perfect, right?
Yeah.
It's a heavy metal you're putting on your body.
But if you're not clean eating, and
Yeah, if you're
everything,
not
then
clean eating, then you can't follow any of this advice and you have to take your chances. Probably just better to stay out of the sun rather than to wear sunscreens.
maybe, yeah, being
Yeah.
outside. I don't know. Got to clean up your eating, folks.
Yeah, you just need to clean up your eating
It-
regardless.
I know we're not spending too much time on this, but
We're
like,
not supposed to. It's our podcast. We can do whatever the hell we want.
but like we did, I think it was last summer, like when we were really strict. I mean, I'd still say we're really strict about it, but like we were super adamant about like not doing seed oils and anything. And at that last summer was the first summer I've ever like really tanned. And like even now, like I actually tan, which my whole life I've never tanned. I always burned. And but you clean up your act.
Seed oils in your life, I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean we did.
I
We
used
ate
to
a lot
be-
of ton of
My whole life, I tanned like a little coconut, like toasted coconut over here. And then in college, when I was left to my own devices to, sustain myself and just ate Chick-fil-A for every meal, I burned. And I was like, what happened to me? I used to go out in the sun and just be this like cute little island girl with my tan. And now I just burn to a crisp every time I'm in the sun. And that continued from college into, early adulthood. But now I tan again. Or even if you do kind of get a little red, you just do like aloe and then tan the next day. So
it's miraculous. Like it was crazy
it's shocking.
last summer. It's super
It's
shocking.
one of those things where you like read about it, you believe the research, like you feel like, yeah, that makes total sense. But then when it actually happens, you're like, oh my gosh, it was right. That worked.
And it's about like building a base of tan and all that stuff. Like if you haven't gone out all summer and then you go out there and you just spend hours.
Let's get into that.
Yeah,
part
okay,
of
let's do that.
Okay, so sunglasses.
Dun dun dun.
They're actually harmful to you in the sense that they block the natural process of sunlight into your eyes. And people, including myself, when I first was hearing about this, I don't know if that was probably 2 summers ago now. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, there's nothing wrong with sunglasses. That doesn't even make any sense. And I hadn't fully looked into it. I didn't know all the facts. But if you just think about it, back to the basics, the thousands of years that humans existed in the sun, that God created the humans, God created the sun, you really think he made it to be bad for you? Like, does that make logical sense? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. They didn't have sunscreen. They didn't have sunglasses. And yet somehow they survived and didn't have all the ailments that we have today.
Yep.
So when you're in the sun, your eyes, your body releases a certain hormone when you're in the sun and your eyes are uninhibited from seeing that you're in the sun. That tells your body, okay, I need to increase my melanin production. And so that's why you end up tanning versus burning. So you can't just first day of summer, go out and be out in sun for 8 straight hours. You still have to do all the things of like slowly building it up. And the best thing to do is to get sun in your eyes first thing in the morning. And that kind of signals your body so many things. I mean, it's just good for you in so many ways, but we're talking specifically about getting a tan instead of a burn. So if you do that first thing in the morning, so I feel like if you're on a beach vacation, wake up in the morning, go for a walk on the beach, come back with no sunglasses and no hat or anything. And then you come back, do whatever. And then when you go back down to the beach for the rest of the day, your body is primed to understand kind of like what's going to be happening. So when we wear these sunglasses, we wear hats, we block our eyes from the sun, but our body's in the sun. It's putting like a barrier. It's blocking the natural processes. It's confusing for our body of what's happening.
Yep. And I would say too, like, yeah, you go cold turkey and do no hats and no sunglasses, and that's probably the best. Like there are situations where it's hard. Like it takes time. Like
that's the other thing.
Starting to get used to it.
And when your diet is better, your eyes are not as sensitive to the sun. If your eyes are really sensitive to the sun, that's a sign that something's off in the body. Like your eyes should be able to handle somewhat sunlight.
What I was just gonna say is like I tend to try to just do a hat to start. If I can't, like without being really squinty, in the sun, then I'll like throw a hat on and try to avoid the sunglasses. For as
Yeah.
long,
I mean, full disclosure, I still wear sunglasses.
yes.
Just
I've been trying to really not.
I try
have
not to. Yeah. Like I try not to, but they're just like, okay, if I'm not on a beach vacation or something
Yes.
and I'm not priming myself in the morning by going out in the sun and doing it, like if it's just an afternoon and we're out by the pool or something, I'm gonna have sunglasses on. So I feel like that's what people don't understand about social media. This is a total off topic tangent. We're here to provide information. We're not trying to lay down the letter of the law of how you should live your life or how we live our life. We're sharing information. Take it or leave it or do whatever the heck you want with it. Like the purpose.
Apparently, we sound like a cult. So
yeah, apparently we're a cult because I said that God doesn't make mistakes. So all religion is a cult. Okay. Like if people were mad that we said don't take Tylenol, what do you think they're gonna say to this? Of like, don't wear sunglasses, don't wear sunscreen. We're gonna get eaten alive, but that's okay because we're getting eaten alive by pasty white sunburnt people that are hyped up on acetaminophen for their whole lives.
that's right.
So
And hopefully helping you all.
haters
So
gonna hate.
That's right.
So like my shirt says, I don't know if y'all can see my shirt. It's one of my favorites. I've mentioned it before on the podcast. I love my shirt so much.
I'm not for everyone.
I'm not for everyone.
Amen.
It's just the way it is.
But
Love me or hate me. Like no one likes me. You either love me or you hate me. There's no middle ground happening over here.
Good.
How's the part where you say I love you?
Oh, well, I love you, obviously.
Thanks.
No, and I'm so thankful for you and all the things that you've done, and it's awesome.
It's a blessing and a curse.
It is.
It's like, it's hard because everything that I learn and all this, like, I just want to live, off the grid, not be around other people, like, just put all these things into practice 100% and be able to just live our life and not be bothered by everyone else. But unfortunately, that's just not possible at this point. And just, you can't, I guess some people do it. Just sell it all and
Yeah. Oh, people
do it. But
start a YouTube channel.
I just feel that that's not a possibility for us with 2 small children and just all the responsibilities that we have in our lives. And just, it's just not a possibility for us right now is the point. So we are still in this world and we do still go to Disney and see everybody. That's the thing that I just don't get. Like, you're literally on your 5th day of your Disney vacation where you've been spraying yourself with copper tone every morning before you go into the parks, yet you're beet red from head to toe, but you're going to keep spraying. Like, this is what I don't understand with people. Like, how's that working for you? You go, your kid has an ear infection. You get them on antibiotics. They get another ear infection. You get them on antibiotics. It doesn't work. So then a different round of antibiotics. Like, how is that working for you? How do you not look at the situation and say, wait a second, something is not right here?
I know.
Again, not coming from a place of judgment. That was us for all of our lives. So we're guilty of it too. And so I'm asking for us too. Like, how did we go for so long to not say, like, how's that working for you? Like, this is why I don't think you really wake up until something really bad happens, because you're just kind of going through life and you're not really paying attention. You're not really being intentional. You don't really feel that bad.
Well, you're brainwashed and you're presented with the information that's there. And like, if you feel bad with something, you go to the doctor and you go do this. Or if you're afraid you're taught to be afraid of the sun and wear sunscreen, and that's the safe thing to do. And all, it's what's pushed. So that's what you just believe and do. And you think you're doing something right and being safe because it's safe and effective.
Yeah. It really is a machine that you're working against. And, I don't know. It just affected me today with these YouTube comments. And I hate that, but I'm human and it does affect me. And it just pisses me off. But it's just so clear, the brainwashing and just the information that is out there and that's prevalent and what we're told. And big pharma is a big business and they have lots of money and lots of power. And, you know, it just makes me kind of like lose hope, I guess, of that, like the world as a whole is going to change, which I don't think it will. Like I never really have thought that it will. And so it's fine. Like we're blessed to have been, you know, able to wake up and see the right way. But I don't know, just when you see certain things or people say things to you and you're just like, oh yeah, like no, like most people don't know.
Yeah, no,
you know, or
people
some
don't know anything.
People don't know about food dyes and that they're bad for you. You know, they don't think giving their kids M&Ms every day is hurting them in any way. And it's
Well,
just
not
like,
even that, just like,
oh yeah, like you don't know. Like that's right. You know, we used to not know. We used to go and like this is like this should be our poster of how we're not the same. Like us taking Avery to the M&M store in masks during the pandemic. Like just take me out back and shoot me for that. It's ridiculous. That is so freaking stupid. Like I literally have nothing nice to say about that. How dumb can you possibly get that you're so worried about getting sick from the air that you wear a mask and then you go and buy
food dyes.
Chocolate covered in food dyes for your kid? Like what the bleep?
Oh, all we can do is laugh. Otherwise we cry. We'll cry too.
I cry a lot.
Yeah.
I have a lot of regret.
Well, that's what we're here. Why we're here now. God had a plan for us, and we're serving you all so you don't have to go through that, hopefully. Or if you are.
We just want to take you by the shoulders and shake you.
Yeah.
Listen to us. I
Yes.
shouldn't have done the podcast today. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not.
No,
not
you
here for
perked
it.
up from where we started. So
It's
lit
not
that fire.
Not my day.
Lit that fire. It's great.
I vacillate between like, I don't care about anyone else figuring it out. Like that's your own job. Screw you if you think I'm insane too. Like everybody has to know this and like they need to change their lives right now because this is insane.
Yeah.
There is no middle ground.
I was at Publix yesterday. I ran out because we needed some guacamole for our dinner. And I, did self-checkout. And there was a person next to me at the self-checkout. He was probably in his early 30s. He had on 2 masks. He had on the black mask. And then he had another one, a tight one around that. He had headphones on and he had gloves on. And he was buying 10 tubs of the vegan butter. Like, I can't make this up.
You should have like taken a picture to submit to Carnivore Aurelius. Like,
I just can't make this up.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so sad. Like, see, this is the other thing. I have no middle ground. I either feel completely heartbroken for people like that or insane anger. And today that makes me sad.
I know.
That's not a way to live.
Yeah,
but what can you do? There have been so many times, and I mean, hopefully it's not the Holy Spirit because I ignore it every time. But like, I just want to say to people in a genuine, nice way, like, I'm
what
just
the hell are you
curious. No, like a genuine, nice way. Like, I'm just curious. Like, I just want to know from your perspective, why are you still wearing a mask? Because even people who loved masks and yelled at people for not wearing masks are no longer wearing masks.
Yes.
So to the people who are still wearing masks, I genuinely, I want to know what is going on in your mind as to why you would still be doing that. But I just don't, like, I literally don't understand. I actually posed that question kind of not about masks, but about the other thingy on Instagram, and nobody answered me. Like I said.
Which thingy?
The thingy.
Oh.
The thingy in your arm.
Yeah.
Like, if you got that, how are you not just like blazing mad right now? As
I had no idea
out.
about I saw all of the EU people being
so
injected with
the
saline.
post was about how it's come out now and people are actually being criminally charged in Europe. The elites over there paid thousands of dollars to basically get like a fake vaccine card or, be registered, whatever they had over there. And like over 2,000 people did this. And because they were scared of the vaccine, that they went on TV and like pushed and mandated for everyone else. So I'm just like, if you got that and you got tricked, like you were tricked, you were lied to. If you don't, I think most people just don't realize how they were tricked, because you're literally told it's 100% effective. And you've seen the video. It's like, then it went to 99, 98, 97, like all the way down to 0%. And if you actually look into the research now, negative efficacy. Do you understand what negative efficacy
more
means?
Sick.
You're more likely to get COVID if you have X, Y, and Z jabs in your arm.
Yep.
How does that not make you want to do something very bad to someone? I don't understand. Like, I'm mad and I knew and I didn't do that. So I just don't understand like why people aren't mad. So either my followers, I've weeded everybody out and I don't have anybody vaccinated, which I know that is not true. Or these people just, they don't realize that they've been fooled, like into the extent that they've been tricked.
Or people don't.
Or people like,
just don't
it didn't
care.
affect them personally. They didn't get injured by it. And so it's no skin off their teeth. But I'm just like an empath, I guess. And I see that like people literally died. But to me, almost worse than death is people who have now life, you know. Some people, they got it. This is why I was like, you will get fired before you get it for your job, because people got it for their job.
Yep.
Then they got so injured that they can no longer work. This is why you value your life and your health over everything else. Like, you don't do something for a job.
Yep. Amen.
Now I'm really fired up.
And that's going to be it for tonight. So
now I'm supposed to go to sleep? What are you talking about?
Need some grounding blankets.
Oh, yeah. We talked about grounding. This one took a turn.
Two-parter.
So, yeah, get outside. Get your feet in the dirt. Let your kids play in the dirt. Eat a little dirt. You know, it's good for you.
Yep.
We're currently trying out a probiotic that is literally dirt.
Dirt derived.
Yeah, dirt derived, obviously, but
just go outside and scoop some dirt and eat it. All right, well, that's enough tangents. Get out there, get your feet in the ground, look far distances without sunglasses on.
And no sunscreen.
And don't wear sunscreen. That's the takeaway for this week. Hope you learned something new. All right, guys, we love you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.